In a world full of connections, advice, and guidance, we often forget one essential truth. No one can live our life for us. No one else can walk our path, fight our battles, or make our dreams come true. Depending on others for strength, answers, or direction may feel safe, but that safety is an illusion. When the light you follow is not your own, you will eventually be left in darkness. So today, let us explore a powerful story, a story that reveals why we must stop depending on others and begin believing in our own light. Once in the ancient kingdom of Kalyanpur, nestled between rivers and mountains, lived a young boy named Arav. He was known throughout the village as a quiet, gentle, and obedient child. His father, Mr. Dutt, was a highly respected teacher. Arav's life revolved around following the advice of others, especially his father. From a young age, whenever Arav faced a problem, he would turn to someone: his father, mother, elders, even his friends. "What should I do?" he would ask. "Which way should I go?" And people would always answer. They would guide him, help him, even make decisions for him. Years passed. Arav became a young man. He was kind, smart, and full of potential. But he had one weakness. He could not trust himself. He doubted his own thoughts, his instincts, and his ability to make the right decisions. He always leaned on others, and deep down, he feared failure because he never had to face it alone. One day, the king of Kalyanpur announced a grand competition. The prize? A position in the Royal Advisory Council, an opportunity to travel, learn, and influence the future of the kingdom. The competition would test intelligence, courage, and independence. Thousands applied. Arav hesitated. Could he do it? Could he compete without anyone's help? He went to his father and asked, "Should I apply?" His father looked at him silently. Then he said something Arav didn't expect. "Son, I cannot decide for you. This path, if you choose to walk it, must be yours alone. Whether you win or lose, it must be your journey. I cannot hold your hand forever." Arav felt the fear rising inside him. Alone, without guidance. But his father smiled and added, "I have taught you what I could. Now you must walk the road." Arav applied. The competition had 3 rounds. The first was a test of intellect, a series of riddles and logic puzzles. The second was physical, a challenge across the dangerous forest path to reach the kingdom's ancient library. The third and final round was a personal challenge, one unique to each contestant. In the first round, Arav passed. He had studied all his life and was excellent at solving problems, as long as the problems had rules. The second round was different. To reach the ancient library, each contestant had to travel alone through the shadowed, whispering forest, a place known for its tricky trails and eerie silence. Many contestants took advice from former travelers. Arav too asked someone, "Which path should I take? What should I do if I get lost?" But the messenger said, "There are no maps, no marks. Each path is different. You must trust your eyes, your ears, your instincts." Arav felt his old habit rise again. He wanted to follow someone. He watched another contestant named Mira, bold and confident, pick a direction and go. He hesitated. Should he follow her? But he remembered his father's words. So for the first time in his life, Arav chose his own path, not knowing where it would lead. The forest was darker than he imagined. Sounds came from every direction. Sometimes the wind sounded like whispers. Sometimes he thought he saw figures behind the trees. Fear began to grow. He thought of turning back. He thought of calling out for someone. But who would come? As night approached, Arav realized he hadn't brought a torch. He sat under a tree, alone and afraid. In his silence, he remembered a small story his father once told him when he was a child. When the night is darkest, his father had said, you'll discover if you carry your own light. Suddenly, a question arose in his heart. Have I ever carried my own light? Or have I always walked in someone else's? He closed his eyes. He breathed deeply. Instead of panic, he began to observe. He listened, not to the voices of others, but to the sounds around him, the direction of the wind, the scent of water, the path that felt firm under his feet. Slowly, cautiously, he began walking again. This time, each step was his own. By sunrise, he emerged from the forest, exhausted but alive. Others had also made it. Mira was already there. She smiled. You found your way? Arav nodded. For the first time, he felt proud, not because someone helped him, but because he had found the strength within. The last round was mysterious. Each contestant was led to a small chamber called the Room of Reflection. Inside the room, Arav saw nothing but a mirror. A small note lay beside it. It read, your final challenge is here. No question, no guide, no time limit, just one instruction. Face yourself. He stood in front of the mirror. At first, he saw only his reflection, but slowly his thoughts began to race. Who am I when no one tells me what to do? Am I strong enough? Smart enough? What if I fail? Then the voice inside him whispered, you've always asked others for answers because you were afraid of hearing your own. Tears welled in his eyes. All his life he had depended on others, not because he was weak, but because he was afraid of making the wrong choice. But now he realized something powerful. The fear of falling is nothing compared to the pain of never flying. He looked at himself straight in the eyes and said out loud, I am enough. I may fail, I may fall, but I will rise on my own. I will stop depending on others. I will trust myself. The room lit up. A bell rang. The test was complete. A week later, the results were announced. Arav was among the winners. But what mattered more to him was not the prize, but what he discovered about himself. He returned home. His father hugged him and said, you lit your own lamp, didn't you? Arav smiled. Yes, and I will never walk in someone else's shadow again. In life, many people will try to guide you, help you, or even make choices for you. Some will do it out of love, some out of control. But remember, your journey is yours. When you always depend on others to guide you, you never learn to trust your own inner compass. And one day when the people you depend on are gone, or take a different path, you will find yourself in the dark. So don't wait for someone to carry your burden. Don't wait for someone to walk your path. Don't wait for permission to become the person you were meant to be. Stop depending on others. Start trusting yourself. Light your own lamp and let it guide your way. Because in the end, the most powerful person in your life is you.